Hey guys! Welcome back to HVL Gamer, where we test games so you don't waste your time. Okay, I need to say this straight away. If you're still wondering whether you should save your roles for Hotori in the Misty Tipsy Style banner, stop right there and don't skip this video, because I'm about to break down every reason why this girl might be one of the most insanely designed characters Neverness To Everness has ever released. I spent a lot of time researching Hotori's kit, and honestly, the deeper I went, the more I realized the developers of NTE came up with an incredibly creative mechanic for this character. But alright, no more spoilers. Let's start from the beginning. First, a quick look at her lore for those who don't know yet. Hotori is the owner of Ebon Antique Shop, a luxurious antique store, and she has this very royal vibe. The moment you look at her, you can immediately feel her elegance and decisiveness. But the funniest twist is that this antique shop owner absolutely loves drinking. And not just casually, she's often in an artistically drunk state. I honestly don't know what kind of message the developers are trying to send here, but whatever, it's cute, so we accept it. Hotori is a limited S-rank Esper, Cosmos element, uses a solid type arc, and she will officially release on May 13th, 2026 in the Misty Tipsy Style banner. Mark the date on your calendar right now so you don't miss it. Now let's get into the most important part, Hotori's kit. And this is where I really need you to pay attention, because the biggest difference between her and every other Esper in the game is this. She has no cooldowns. Not short cooldowns, not reduced cooldowns. Literally zero cooldowns. Instead, Hotori operates using her own special energy system called the Non-Closed Timepiece, a unique clock that automatically accumulates energy over time, up to 120 points. This is a mechanic I've never seen on any character before, and it completely changes how you play her compared to normal Espers. The first skill we need to talk about is Present Replay, which consumes 60 energy from the clock. When activated, Hotori deals Cosmos damage, and then begins recording every support skill and swap skill used by allies during the next 5 seconds. I want you to imagine it like a portable movie camera capturing every single action your team performs. And the question is, why record those skills? Well, this is where the real moneymaker part begins. Hotori's ultimate is called World's Tide, and this is the moment where she pulls out her katana and does something even bosses can't react to. She freezes time across the entire battlefield. Everything stops. Absolutely everything. Only Hotori can continue moving. And during that moment, she replays every recorded ally skill she captured earlier, but this time, they all activate simultaneously. It ends with an incredibly powerful finisher once you reach 10 combo stacks. The first time I read this part, I literally had to reread it because I wasn't sure I understood it correctly. But yes, you saw that right. This is a real time stop mechanic inside the game, and the concept is executed so beautifully that all I could do was applaud the developers. One small note though, while time is stopped, you cannot swap to another character, so plan your setup carefully before activating it. Now let's talk about builds. Hotori's signature weapon is Marching Beyond Time, an S-rank arc specifically designed to amplify ultimate damage while also granting 12% DEF penetration against enemies. This is basically a must-have if you want to maximize her damage output. However, if you don't have her signature weapon, Fluff of Fearlessness is actually a pretty decent alternative, since it increases ATK after using an ultimate. Still viable, just not capable of reaching the same ceiling as the signature. For cartridges, the best choice is the Lost Radiance set. The 2-piece bonus gives 10% Cosmos damage, while the 4-piece bonus allows you to ignore 25% of enemy DF for 20 seconds after using your ultimate. Combined with the DF penetration from her weapon, Hotori can basically erase a huge portion of a boss's defense in an extremely satisfying way. As for stat priority, the order I recommend is Cosmos DMG 80%, Crit Rate Crit DMG. Cosmos DMG comes first because her entire damage output revolves around that element. Moving on to team compositions, this is probably the section most people care about because Hotori is actually very flexible. She can function as both a sub-DPS and a main DPS depending on the team setup. The strongest team right now is Nanalie plus Hotori G10, commonly called the Blossom team. The synergy is really interesting. Hotori continuously triggers Blossom reactions and amplifies Nanali's burst damage by recording and replaying ally skills. Basically, Hotori is copying and pasting her teammates' power, and when combined with Nanali, the damage output becomes terrifying. If you don't have Nanali, the charge team is also extremely effective. Hotori plus Zero plus Juyuan plus Edgar, focusing on generating energy as quickly as possible so Hotori can repeatedly stop time. Just hearing that already sounds broken, doesn't it? Now for the part many of you probably need to hear the most. Why is Hotori worth pulling? And I'll say it directly. Point number 1. NTE's gacha system does not have a 50-50 mechanic. I know many players have trauma from other games where they hit pity only to lose the featured character after saving for months. In NTE, if you pull an S rank in Hotori's banner, it is guaranteed to be Hotori. There's no luck wasn't on your side nonsense here. This is honestly one of the things I genuinely appreciate about NTE. The gacha system respects the player's time and effort. Point number 2. If you have the resources to invest into Awakening, Hotori's A6, Time Takes Away, is an actual game changer. At A6, whenever Hotori activates her time stop state, she gains an additional 30% DDEF penetration against enemies. Combined with her weapon and gear set, the total DF penetration becomes absolutely ridiculous. And this is where Hotori transforms from strong into a true damage monster. You absolutely do not need A6 for her to perform well, but if you're planning for long-term investment, this is a milestone worth aiming for. Point number 3, and this is something I personally find really cool. Hotori is not only powerful in combat. Her support skill Frozen Snow Ritual allows her to stop time even outside battle while exploring the open world. That means you can use it to solve puzzles or interact with the city environment in ways other espers simply can't. I tested it myself, and honestly, this is one of the most interesting exploration mechanics I've ever seen. Freezing the world and casually walking around while everything stands still feels incredibly surreal. On top of that, if you're playing City Tycoon mode, Hotori also has excellent shop management abilities that significantly optimize Fawn's income, meaning she's not just useful in combat, but also provides utility for the game's progression systems. To sum it all up, Hotori feels like a character the developers poured an incredible amount of passion into, from her unique time manipulation concept, to the energy system replacing cooldowns, to her utility in both combat and exploration. Her kit does require preparation. You need to actively use Present Replay first before activating World's Tide in order to maximize damage. But when executed properly, the payoff is unbelievably satisfying. She's not the type of character where you can just spam buttons and instantly win. She's the kind of character that rewards players for truly understanding her mechanics, and that's exactly the kind of design philosophy I always respect. The Misty Tipsy Style banner releases on May 13th, 2026. If you've been saving your rolls, this is the time to make your decision. And once again, remember this carefully. No 50-50 system. Every S rank you pull from this banner will be Hotori. Opportunities like this don't always come twice. If this video helped you out, don't forget to leave a like so I can keep making more in-depth analysis videos like this one. Drop a comment below telling me whether you're saving for Hotori or joining the Skip team. I really want to know what the community thinks. See you guys in the next video.